2023 might be the best year ever for gaming. With an already packed year, Baldurs Gate 3 has come and quickly just shot its way to the top of the charts, giving the Game of the Year contenders like Tears of the Kingdom little something to worry about. What's insane about this is the niche that this game is in. It's really not for everyone, and I personally even know some people who just couldn't get into it and returned it. But despite that, this game is here, and it's making a huge impact on the gaming world as we know of it. As a disclaimer, this is not my full review. I'm not going to give it a score just because I have a rule that I need to beat a game before I give it a final score. I wanted to quickly give you guys my impressions so far after about almost 50 hours of gameplay, just to help anyone who's on the fence maybe about the game. Yes, I did say 50 hours of impressions, which sounds nuts, but really 50 hours in this game is not a lot. The game is seriously huge. There's so much depth, so much to do, so much to explore. I mean, I don't see myself finishing for another 40 or more hours. Baldurs Gate 3 really brings the depth of a Dungeons & Dragons game to life. As someone who's never really played Dungeons & Dragons, I was honestly really worried that I wouldn't really like this type of game, but so far, not only does it really work, it's just so much fun. The game starts you off making your own character, which is seriously in depth. You select a class, you're selecting a background, your spells, you can customize your stats, even a subclass. And then there's this full character creation that isn't some basic 4 faces, 7 hairstyles. I mean, the character creator is so in depth you can change what kind of penis you have, which is nuts. So I hope that helps you all get how much there is to customize in the game. I mean, as of now, there's 3 characters that I have, which probably explains how I've even spent almost 50 hours and only stayed in Act 1 of this game. I have my main solo character, who's a ranger. This is the one that I'm the furthest in. I've gone with a high elf. I got a criminal background, sleight of hand. I'm able to summon bears, wolves, ravens. They help me fight other enemies. I can even talk to animals, which has been super helpful. The character's focus is dual-wielding short swords if people close in on me, and then I've got archery. Basically, it's my Skyrim class that I always end up playing, Stealth Archer. Second character I made was a rogue. I chose to make this because we were playing in a 4-man group, and we needed range and some stealth, so I thought, why not have a thief on the team? The game is co-op, by the way, up to 4 players, but I will talk about that whole 4-man experience I had later. Third character is one that I haven't really played a lot. I made a bard just for pure fun called Taylor Thrift. I get to charm enemies with music and I get to break hearts with my loot. I couldn't resist making this one. I really wanted to see how a bard playstyle goes because, hurting people or killing people with music just sounds awesome. My favorite part so far about how this game works is just how different your experience is in every playthrough. Choices that you're making in dialogue can end in a fight or a truce. You could choose to save a race of refugees or help slaughter them, side with mushroom people, or kill the slavers that were honestly assholes. Anything you can think of, you can do, and there are repercussions in the game. All of this affects the ending. Supposedly there's 17,000 endings, so I'm not sure if people can even get all of these endings. With my 4-man group, we completely missed 2 companion characters, and we even discovered a whole new area that I missed when I was playing solo, leading us to an amulet that lets us speak to the dead. Dialogue and choices are just influenced by dice, just like in a tabletop game. Everything in the game is decided that way technically, like whether your attack hits, misses, or is a critical. You can miss a dice roll and have your game go completely different direction, and I think that's the beauty of the game. The experience of the story that's evolving to all of your choices and rolls. To me, it's the most unique part of the game, and it just makes it feel so rewarding to explore and just get further and talk to people. I don't want to spoil the story here because so far it's my favorite part of the game. All I'm going to say is that it leads you down a path that leads to some distractions, and those distractions don't feel like a waste of time like in typical video game fashion. The distractions are actually moving the plot forward, helping you learn about your other characters or companions, or even getting you really cool gear. I mean, you can beeline just the main story, but the missions along the way help influence that story. To give a quick overview, I mean, you wake up on a mind flayer ship with a worm in your head. For some reason, you aren't turning, but you can sense others that have the worm as well. They join you to help find a cure before you turn into one. Sounds super simple, but that's just the start of the story. You find yourself looking for healers, you get betrayed. You take out goblin camps. I freed giant spiders and helped them turn on their captors. Awesome. You get companions, and the game's combat is completely turn-based and old school. You're able to set up your attacks and play almost like a virtual chess-style game. I've got a tank who's a barbarian. I respect one of my other companions to a different type of cleric. I also have a warlock. All of these are helping me with range attacks while the tank is sitting there just dishing out damage. Each situation and every battle is actually really difficult, especially in the beginning. And I didn't really start feeling powerful till about level 5. That's when you're getting better gear and stats. You're able to attack twice. There's just so much to explore and so many secrets to find. You're going to want to check every nook and cranny in the game. Sometimes you'll succeed a perception check and you find just a random mound of dirt, and there's a chest that you could break into. The game rewards your curiosity with gear, discovery of a new mission at times, or even characters. I've had a lot of fun playing the game so far, but I'm going to admit there are some technical issues. I've had issues with my companions getting lost, my wolves getting separated from me. Once I just moved my camera around to see if there's a safe spot, and my character just ended up jumping into lava and dying. Thank God I had an old save I could just load back into. You'll click some areas to move, try to talk to someone that's a shopkeep and accidentally steal his sword, ending in a battle. Again, reload your save. A lot of this you can fix by just constantly saving, which I mapped to my delete button just for really quick saves. And besides frame rate, I think it's the one thing that I want kind of updated in the game. I feel like the game alone just doesn't save enough. And I've lost a lot of actual playthrough just because I forgot to save, ended up in some crazy situation just getting destroyed by enemies and load back an hour back into an autosave, which really sucked. So what I learned was to just manually quick save a lot just to avoid any bugs that might happen or dumb mistakes that I make. Some people on the internet hate this, but in my opinion, single player game, play however you want with saves and reloads. I'm also not a big technical channel, so I can't really speak on performance. I suggest going somewhere else, but on my PC, it was a little iffy at times. I did see frame rate drops, a lot of pop-in. I was turned on just, DLSS and other things just to help the performance out. The Steam Deck, though, for me, it's all right. It's 25 to 30 frames. I love being able to play this game on the go, at work, on break, in bed. It's awesome. I'm not running into a lot of issues there, but I heard it gets worse in just later acts. And again, like I said, I'm only on maybe the end of Act 1 so far in almost 50 hours. Another thing that I just wasn't a fan of was, honestly, I hate to say this, but 4-player gameplay. It might just be user error. Maybe I chose the wrong group, but I tried playing this with 4 people, and my friends and I were just in complete chaos. 2 of us were figuring out the game. Someone else was just rushing along, getting into trouble, and starting a bunch of cutscenes without us, having us miss a lot of stuff. And the last guy was just taking everything he could from every box and dead body anywhere he could as fast as he can, like we were playing Diablo, and just held on to most of it. It might have just been my group, like I said earlier, but we all had just a lot more fun playing solo. I can see how the game is a blast with the right 4 people, but again, I think you need the right group to enjoy it, or maybe play with 2 just so that's a little more manageable. So far, I love the world. I love the concept of bringing a board game to life, making decisions, influencing the story, meeting companions, and just furthering that story. This is the most fun that I've had in an RPG-style game since, I think, Mass Effect 2. And if you think you like games like Skyrim, Mass Effect, Final Fantasy, or even Fallout, I think you'll be able to appreciate and enjoy this one. It's breaking Steam records, bringing people who aren't even into RPGs into this type of game. On top of all of this, Larry and the developers are promising 0 microtransactions. You can unlock it all in the game, just like the old days. The world is enormous, and so far, like I said, I've played 50 hours, and I think I'm just at the end of Act 1. There's 3 total acts if I remember correct. Most reviews aren't even fully out for this game still, just because of how big the game is. This is one I really like so far, and I'm going to be playing it for a long time. If you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think of Baldur's Gate 3 so far if you're playing. I appreciate all the support that I've gotten, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks.